30 seconds.
30 seconds to what?
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that comes out of the crapshoot. I'm your host, JD. This is my co-host, James. I call him James.
I accidentally just
calls him
exited
Jim.
out of Discord. I accidentally just exited out of Discord.
And a lot of things happened this week. Right, James?
30 seconds happened this week.
We watched a couple movies.
It just works like that. It's weird. You know, since Jay didn't say it.
I did say it, but
I know,
you
I exited
exited
out of
Discord when I said it. So, anyway.
Yeah.
We watched The Meg 2, starring Jason Statham, the mad lad himself, the best
starring
British man, the best British man to come out of Britain itself.
Mm-hmm. Next to Andrew Tate.
No, he actually grew up in Chicago.
No, JD, his accent. He's from Britain. Britain. I got another clip of his brother doing like a video on YouTube Reels, because sometimes when I open my YouTube app, it goes right to Reels before anything else. Or sorry, Shorts. YouTube Shorts. I forget everything. Everything has their own term. Right. Everything has their own term, and it's like it breaks my mind that we just don't all stick to one format.
Wait, you want us all call them TikToks?
Yeah.
So no, that's your favorite platform, right?
It's pretty good. Not really. But yeah, they it opens like the YouTube Shorts, and sometimes I'll just get Andrew Tate YouTube Shorts all the time, like back to back. And I got his brother Tristan, and Tristan's really great at being an even less charismatic Andrew Tate. So he's like he was telling a story of how his father, the Chad he is, outdid his mother, outplayed the bitch.
Exactly, outplayed.
He was like, my mother, stupid woman. She didn't want us to be named after our father. So our father, while she was giving birth, snuck out and changed the papers. Stupid woman. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Got him. Hey man, I mean that's rule number one of being an alpha. Don't let your woman tell you what to do. You are the one in charge. Like, come on.
It's also like he's praising his father, which is something they don't do. I'm pretty sure they don't like their father. But like in this one scenario, he's like, "Stupid woman." Oh.
I think instead of praising a father, more like they're just ragging on their mother.
Right. He's like, our dad, the genius he is, and our mother, the stupid woman she is. Like,
I hate that man, but he's actually a genius.
But I hate the way he talks too. Like, I already hate Andrew Tate, and he's like trying to mimic Andrew Tate with what he does, and it's like, I hate both brothers. Of you. Slap, choke, throw down.
Shut up, bitch. Sex.
Okay. Jason Statham's Megs 2. Yeah.
It was a good movie. You want to just give your rating out straight out for it? Let's just start with the rating.
I think it's a 5 out of 10.
I think it's a 7 out of 10. I liked it actually. I thought it was really stupid, really goofy.
So stupid.
I had a fun time with it. It was good.
I had a fun time, but I think I only had as fun a time because we had an empty theater.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best viewing experiences that probably anyone was ever going to get, is because we were the only 2 people in that theater.
There was nobody.
It wasn't a big theater, but
no, it wasn't a big theater, but it also
but there was like literally no one there. So the entire time we were watching the movie, I was just screaming because I could.
We were talking out loud. We were getting up out of our chairs.
Yeah. There's one time in the movie, I think it was, I don't remember what it was, but it was just one of these moments in the movie where
it was like really dumb moment.
Yeah, it was when I made a bit earlier in the movie that Jason Statham was a dense human being, like denser than other
Right.
people, so he could survive in the Mariana Trench for like 30 seconds. And it turns out that later in the movie, there was a scene where he actually just goes out and swims in the bottom of the ocean for like 30 seconds.
Right.
And then when that happened, and they were explaining the way, like why he could do that, he's like, oh, you know, if you breathe out of your sinuses and empty your sinuses, you'll be able to survive on the bottom of the ocean, no problem, just like the fish can. And then I look over at you when they said that explanation, and you had like the most unfun face on, and you get up out of your seat and you start walking out of the theater.
I was so physically upset. I stood up out of my chair and I walked out.
Yeah, that was really funny. But I was right. I told you their explanation doesn't make any sense because she has no idea what she's talking about because she's a woman. See, what I said was the one that was like canonically correct. It's that Jason Statham is such a dense human being, he can survive in the depths of the ocean for 30 seconds. And I was right.
Just kept calling multiple people dense because like they kept surviving things that they shouldn't, so we just kept calling them dense.
Yeah, mostly Jason Statham, but it's like
Tony
one
Stark
other person was also dense.
The one dad, or not dad, the uncle
was dense. Would you call that guy? Would you name him? What was the name?
We kept going back between Tony Stark and Whiplash. I think we kept.
No,
going
you
back
said Tony Stark like once, but what was the name that you called him that was wrong? Jermaine.
Oh,
you called him Jermaine.
I kept calling Jermaine. You're talking about that guy. Yeah,
I'm talking about Jermaine. He's also pretty dense because he's
Statham. Go on with what you were saying. I'll explain it.
There's another character in the movie that kind of is like Jason Statham, action hero wise, and he's kind of like the second main character, and he survives he has like 4 fake out deaths in the movie.
Oh my god, they fake out death him so much.
They fake out death him every 3 scenes he's in.
When he didn't die at the end, full spoilers by the way.
Spoilers for both this and the next movie we'll talk about. Whatever is in the title.
When he wasn't dead at the end when the Meg was approaching him, I was like, did they think we'd be fooled? In my mind, I was like, were we supposed to be fooled? Were we supposed to think, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, 3, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. I think this is excessive. Fool me 4 times. I'm walking out of the theater.
Fool me 4 times. I'm taking off my headphones. So
I'm out of my chair.
So Jermaine, his name's not Jermaine.
It's not.
It's Ju Ming. That's what his actual name is. But James kept calling him Jermaine throughout the whole movie.
I'm pretty sure I heard Jason Statham say Jermaine once, and I was just like, "Yep."
He did not say it, but
he definitely.
We'll just call him Jermaine because that's what you called him. So, so Jermaine is also another super dense dude, and he's awesome because he's like this,
so dense.
He's like this Asian. He's just this Asian dude, and he's just an Asian Jason Statham.
He just looks like
not a dad.
Like
I don't think he has children.
But he looks like he's the uncle of the girl. Yeah. But he,
from the previous movie.
Looks like a dad.
Which, by the way, I didn't watch the previous movie. I've only seen the Meg 2.
You've never seen the first movie.
Well, I mean, I thought the movie was going to be bad, so I didn't watch it. But then I watched the second movie, and I was like, this is good. So maybe I want to watch the first movie.
Oh, God.
So he has like 4 fake out deaths in the whole movie, and it's hilarious every single time because he kind of just pops out of nowhere like alive. And that's in every single fake out death.
He does things so fast.
Yeah.
But they don't explain that time has passed between these 2 events. It's just the literal next shot.
And his English is terrible. You almost can't understand what he's saying because he's Chinese.
I thought he was pretty all right. I didn't think it was too bad. I thought he was pretty good. There were some parts where
Jermaine? You thought Jermaine was pretty good?
I thought he was pretty good. There were some parts where I understood what he said, but it wasn't super clear, but I understood. I didn't think it was too bad.
Anyway, I liked his character. I didn't want him to die. You thought he was a bad guy. You thought he was a bad guy.
Yeah, I was so convinced he was a bad guy because of how they kept having him be kind of off. There was parts of how he was acting and his events. I told you,
Jay, it's just a cultural difference.
It's also JD. I've seen the first movie. So I was expecting them to do that again, and they did. But they did it with a character who we met once.
Yeah. Was that not a character in the previous movie?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So
Again,
let me
we
give a
met them
quick
once
rundown of the plot, okay? Because if there is a plot, what is the plot?
of the first movie.
No, of this movie.
Oh,
It's Jason Statham one
Jason Statham
and Jermaine go on an
and
expedition
Jermaine.
into the trench
hmm
in order to
Uh,
what do they need to do again?
I can't remember, but it involved a rift
I
between
think
like
all they wanted to do was just explore. But then they found this
yeah,
like underwater mining rig and then the plot shifted.
right. So they wanted to explore. They wanted to go past and explore the rift that allowed the Megalodons from the first movie, the two from the first movie, to enter. And so they were like, "Oh, well, we'll go through with these new advanced submarines and these mech suits that we've built,
Mhm.
these exosuits,
The thermal
and we'll
layer
go explore thermo layer, and we'll go explore." And then they get there and they immediately find, what's this? There's a mining rig with like a bunch of people in exosuits, just like
underwater
their
mining
own,
rig.
who have
And they
been
were
there for a
mining, as I
while.
quote Jermaine, rare earth
Unobtainium,
minerals. No, rare earth
unobtainium from
minerals.
Avatar.
So they were mining that, and I guess right when they found them out, the dudes in the mining rig were like, "Oh crap, we've been exposed. Time to blow it up."
Yeah, like it took them 1 second where they were like, oh, "We've been found out," and like rather than let his team like get like a foot away, he just uh evil Tony Stark looking guy,
Right.
aka Whiplash from Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
blows them up and like caves in on top of Jason
Yeah.
Statham
And
and
then it
Jermaine.
creates a hole in the thermal layer for the megalodons to get out of.
Right,
But before
right.
that, there was another megalodon in captivity because Jermaine had a
hmm
pet megalodon kept in this big
Jermaine,
swimming pool with a giant grate that's the size of the megalodon.
I saw it. I turned to you and I said, "It's gonna get through that."
And then I said to you, nah, there's no way.
I saw a giant hole the size of a megalodon, and I was like, "I played the Jaws video game. I know how this worked in the SeaWorld level."
No, I think what you said to me when you saw with the scene of like it shows the big gas gate and then this megalodon swimming toward it and then turning away right at the last moment, you turned to me and you were like, no, does he get through the fucking megalodon size? Is that how he escapes? And I look at you, I'm like, no, there's no way. It's a grate. I mean, you need water to pump through.
I was losing my mind. I'm like, they could have made it smaller. It could have not been the
Surprise,
size of a
surprise.
megalodon.
The megalodon does escape through that grate.
Wow.
That's insane. But it escapes through the grate while the expedition team is still underwater, like below the trench,
Yeah.
the thermal layer.
And then it goes and joins
Yeah.
two other megalodons that are down there. So
So
now we
because
have
of the
three megalodons.
explosion in the underwater mining rig, it like breaks their submarines and they have to go to the underwater mining rig in order to get to an escape pod to get out. And there's like and the team above the water, like in the station above the water. There's like
Yeah.
there's
Cliff
your favorite
Curtis and
character,
and,
your favorite actor in there,
Cliff
Paige something. Harrison.
Paige Kennedy and Cliff Curtis, two actors I actually really like.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was a Viner, the other one's just a New Zealander I really like seeing.
Yeah, and then this one lady who's good with computers or
And
something.
then a white
hacker lady.
woman.
Okay, well, listen, she's just a hacker. Okay,
Is she?
I think so.
Because I'm pretty sure
She
all
does
she did was
something with
walk
computers.
up to all she did was walk up to one of the subs, poke it, let it leak, and sparks fly all over the place, then walked away.
Yeah. So
I think that's all she really did.
that counts as hacking. So
Yeah.
so they're stuck under the water. They have to get out. Turns out that lady was the bad guy all along.
hmm
Yeah, but before this, the reason why James thought Jermaine was the bad guy was because number one, he's rich, so
Right.
automatically that makes him a bad guy in James's
And
eyes.
again, I've seen the first movie, so I was expecting them to do the same thing again.
Yeah, yeah, and you know,
Which
and you
makes
say
no
he
sense
acts
to
weird,
you,
but I
but-
don't think he acted that weird. Like, what about him acted
It was
was
just
weird?
it was just they kept having him like the whole like he has a clicker that alerts the megalodon.
He
Whoa.
doesn't alert the. Sorry, the
Whoa,
doorbell. My
JD, I think your
doorbell just
dogs
rang.
hear the megalodon outside.
They hear the megalodon. It's
They
gonna
hear the
break through the grate.
megalodon.
The
It's coming in
megalodon
on
says
that
grate
California hurricane.
in my house. No, so it was ignore the barking. There was a
He has a
it wasn't a
clicker
clicker
that
that
alerts
alerts
them.
the megalodon. It's a clicker that makes the megalodon passive, so it doesn't attack him, which
Right, but
doesn't
that it
work,
was like it
by the
was
way.
also it doesn't work, but it
At
was
at
also
the
it was
beginning,
drawn. It was constantly drawn to him when he would click it because like at the beginning they showed he clicked it, then the megalodon turned and it realized he was there.
because I thought it was swimming at him first, and then he's like, "Now watch this." Then it starts clicking it,
Well, he clicked
and
it
then
and
it
it
turns
started
away.
swimming at him, and then he like lifted his hand and he clicked it again. And it made a different noise that time, and so I was like, "Oh, okay." And because he brought it's him, he probably brought the clicker with him. The megalodon escaped as they left, so I'm like, he alerted it, and that's why it escaped. And there's no other reason because it doesn't make sense why it escaped then and waited. It didn't escape when the layer broke.
No,
It
not
escaped
immediately.
before that. No,
Yeah,
it escaped like right when they launched, and that's why I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
yeah.
He's
So
the bad
the
guy,
plot of events
obviously.
is they go onto the expedition, they get in the submarines. Right when they get through the thermal layer, the megalodon breaks out, and then
Hmm.
swims toward them, and like they see
And
it.
enters, and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, it's
And
in
they're like,
here!"
"Is that
And they're
your
like,
is that your
"There's
pet
more."
megalodon?" And Jermaine's like, "Oh shit, that is. What's it doing down there?"
He's like, "Hey, that's my megalodon."
Yeah. He looks at it, he's like, "Wait a minute. That's mine."
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so anyway, they're in
Who
the
are
underwater
you?
station now. And well actually
Yeah,
at first their submarines break because of the like all the
because
rocks
Mickey
falling.
Rourke sets off the explosions and it
Yeah.
collapses on them,
Yeah, and
but also it fucks him up.
so they have to they have to get out of the submarines and wear their like special exosuits that they developed
That
in order
that is
to
so
explore
stupid.
the
There's
trench.
a child-sized one for some reason.
There's a child-sized one for the kid who snuck on board the submarine.
Yes. A
Yeah,
submarine that probably had a limited amount of rations and air as is
to fit the people on the
for
board. Yeah,
to fit the three
but not
people that
only
were
did
on
the kids
board.
sneak onto the submarine and mess with that, but they also just saw it to be a kid-sized exosuit on that submarine
Hmm.
that she snuck onto.
They
So
they make the comment that she packed for it, but I do not believe for a second they packed a kid-sized exosuit for this.
oh yeah, she did. She did say something
I do
like
not believe that they snuck one on.
I think she did
That
say
is
something
so
like, "Yeah, I
stupid.
expected her to do this." So all right,
Well, no, one of the ladies helped her sneak on, is what they were
right,
saying. They were
right.
like, "Yeah, we helped her pack," and I'm like, "You did not fucking bring a kid-sized exosuit. That is insane. You are insane for bringing
Dude, he's a
that."
rich guy, man. He probably has a kid-sized exosuit for the whole
I know,
family. You
no,
know,
I'm sure he does, but that's insane. These are
Jermaine was never a
also
sane man.
I lost my mind when we saw the exosuits at first.
Yeah, you were like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "It's an exosuit," because when they first show it, it's a dude wearing it, and then he slams his like
It's
arm down.
Jermaine. Jermaine's
Jermaine's
wearing
wearing
it.
it.
He starts
He
punching
slams his
bricks.
arm down onto like a cinder block and breaks it, and he's like, "This is pretty good." And you're like, "What
Yeah,
the fuck are those for?" And I'm like, for deep sea exploration." And then turns out they are for deep sea exploration.
that doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense. What about it
No, it
doesn't make any
doesn't.
sense?
Why would you use an exosuit? What?
Because you need something around you in order to survive the depths, unless you're Jason Statham.
That's not how, that's not how it works. You can't just say I built an exosuit. It's like 100% exposed wiring, and then you go into the water. That's not how diving suits work. That's not how
Um,
pressurized suits work.
then how do they make it to the bottom of the ocean, surviving it? Exosuits.
Because Jason Statham put a gun to the writer's head and said, "I want exosuits. I want to
What
punch the
writers?
shark.
This was during the writer's
I,
strike, right?
I want to punch the shark."
Wasn't this during the writer's strike?
No, dude, that's the thing that drives me insane. Where people like new stuff is coming out, and people are like, "Ugh, consequences of the writer strike," and I'm like, "This was made last year.
Hmm.
Most of these things were made a year
You're
ago.
telling
What are
me
you
there was a
talking
writer
about?"
behind this movie?
Yeah, Jason.
Maybe the writer's strike's not such a bad idea.
Jermaine wrote it.
Jermaine wrote it. That'd be hilarious. So
Oh,
anyway,
dude, it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they get out of their submarines and they're in the exosuits and they only have a limited amount of oxygen, so they have to get to the station. within the time before they run out of oxygen. Then they get
We've
attacked
got
by
like
these prehistoric
seven.
dinosaurs swimming
We've got
aquatic
seven
dinosaurs.
people. Four of them are quirky copy and paste of one another.
Yeah, and then a bunch of them die off screen.
Yeah, one of them gets killed by the Kraken. The other one fucking like gets eaten by a shark. Yeah, she gets eaten by a shark. And then the third one's fucking head implodes.
Yeah, that was a brutal one actually. The other two were all like kind of off screen, didn't really show too much of it. But the last one, like they after they fight away all these like aquatic
Jermaine's
dinosaurs,
like panicking, trying to stop her helmet from cracking
yeah, they
more and
get
more. And
into
they're
they
like,
finally get into like the water chamber, the one that the depressurizing chamber, and it's still filled
yeah.
with water, so it's like super high pressure, and her helmet's cracked from fighting with the dinosaurs. And it's like keeps cracking. She's like, I'm gonna, and she's like, I don't want to die. And then Jermaine's staring at her as her like fucking whole helmet like implodes and and it's just filled with blood.
It's not though. There's like no blood at all.
There is no blood. It just imploded. There's a bunch of bubbles that come out inside of it, and that's it.
It's so funny to me that then there's just like her limp body is just like in
Even
the
if
room.
it's
I think
even if there was
Jermaine
no
held on to
blood,
it.
even if there's no blood, that was still pretty like that was. I thought that was teetering
It was-
PG-13.
that-
That was
Yeah, that was
bordering it.
that was wild for
Because it was
what
very
it was.
it
but
was very graphic, even if it wasn't like there was no blood.
it immediately became goofy because I think Jermaine was then holding like a fake body with the imploded helmet. And
Yeah,
he kinda drops it.
it's because he's holding at the, like in a second he's like crying and holding like the suit with the imploded helmet on top, and then like right after they're like we gotta go, and he's like all right, so he kind of just like plops
Right.
it down and leaves.
Also, if by the pressure of how far down they are, it shouldn't have just been her head that collapsed. It should have been everything. There should be nothing in that suit.
Yeah, that whole
She
suit
should
should
have
just
been
turn into a
atomized.
little ball, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she would have atomized basically the moment there was any leak.
Yeah, I mean, if there was just like a small, like to say the crack formed, she probably would have been atomized.
Also, is there only one layer to her helmet then? Like,
There might have been two, but I don't know.
because that's part of pressurizing.
I don't know how
is
the
that there's
fuck the
multiple
exosuits
layers.
work. I didn't build it. Jermaine's the one
You're
who
right.
built it. You gotta ask him.
We should contact the actor on like Twitter or something
Why would the
Like-
actor know?
because he wrote it.
Okay. So yeah,
yeah.
they go through the space station. Then they find out that the white woman is
Space
the bad guy
station.
all along. And
Yeah, she's like, hurry, get to the pods. And then she like literally takes her glasses off and goes, now that I have you here,
she takes her glasses off. Now I'm the bad guy. So
I'm the bad guy. Also, they were so obvious about it being her, like for one of the shots, but they were like, hey, one of the rescue subs was tampered. And then it's like a shot of her face like really close to the camera and everybody behind her, she's like listening in. And it's like, okay, guys, subtlety does not know your name.
subtlety. What's that?
This is the director's subtle hint.
It's like it cuts to the fucking security cam footage of her tampering with the submarine. It's like sparks.
She's
flying
not wearing
everywhere.
a mask or anything either. There were other
Please
people
framed
around,
on that
if I remember
the
correctly.
frame where it's like sparks are flying, and she's like, "This is the director's subtle hint that she's sabotaging the submarine."
Dude, it's so great because I'm pretty sure she was like there were other people around her too when she was doing that.
Yeah,
It, it's like she fucking stabs it and sparks fly out and shit. Like, how do you not notice that?
yeah. So anyway,
It's so stupid. I love it.
yeah, they're at the bottom of the submarine, and then they or at the bottom of the space station.
The
and
space
then they-
station.
Yeah, and then they go and well, they get to the escape pod area, and there's two of them. Then she
It's
launches
starting
one
to
of them.
flood in.
Yeah, she launches one of them, and she's like, "Ha, I gotcha." And then and then I think she says, "I like you have to kill Jason Statham, and then
Right.
she'll let you escape." And I'm like, "Why not just kill him then? Don't you?
My
Isn't that
thing
better
was,
just to not leave anyone alive? Just kill all of them."
I said this to you. I said, why not agree right away and then just go and shoot her when you get to the surface?
Yeah,
Like,
you can shoot
nothing is
Jason
stopping
Statham,
you.
escape, and then shoot her.
Well, you don't even have to get to that part. Like, the first deal she made was like, come on, guys, just come on. We can all work together on this. Say yes, and then go kill her. Like, what is the problem here?
Well,
She is responsible for multiple of your
James,
friends dying.
the problem is that she's never gonna hold her promise, dude. She's just saying it to make fun of them. You know, you like taunts, like you teabag someone after you kill them in Call of Duty. That's what she's doing.
I
There.
never, I never do that.
Oh, really?
That's weird. That's a weird thing people do.
Oh, really? So you never done that in
Yes.
Halo Infinite?
Uh, uh.
That's
Next question.
Wait. Next question.
Your Honor, I plead the fifth. I, Donald Trump, have never teabagged ever in my life. Sir,
Yeah,
we have footage of you.
So they go through all of this, and then she's like, "All right, fuck you guys," and then the space station's imploding, and then they get out.
Right, she like starts flooding the area. Like she starts flooding.
I think the mining station is just already like breaking, so it's like flooding, and then it's already flooding on its own, and all she can do is just launch the escape pods, which she does. She launches just both of them.
She's like, I'm gonna launch this escape pod. They're like, no, you won't. We're not gonna do what you say. She launches it, and then she goes,
whoops, Butterfingers, and then
then she goes, shoot Jason Statham, or
I'll do it again! Get him! Get him now! I knew it, you
that was her telling them to get Jason Statham.
Yeah, and then the woman almost does shoot him.
Then Jermaine looked at Jason Statham and he's like,
oh no.
So it turns out that she launches both the escape pods, and then they're like, "Oh god, we have no way out." And it turns out there's another submarine in the mining station, I think. So they just go there and escape through that.
Firstly, Jason Statham, they have the amazing moment where Jason Statham goes, "It's like I was made for this." Climbs into the pod.
Even before that, when they were going down to the mining area in the submarines pre-broken, Jason Statham, they encounter emergency, and then Jason Statham, like one of them says, like 30 seconds.
Oh my god, yeah, they do.
Which, if you don't know what that reference is, it's Jason Statham in the movie The One, starring Jason Statham and Jet Li.
Oh, and
in the climax, in the end battle, when like the bombs are about to go off and like blowing both the Jet Lis up. Yes, there's two of them. Jason Statham shouts at Jet Li, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And that's the only thing I remember. That's like the only line I remember from the movie, other than like permission to speak.
Sir. Just Jason. We don't remember anything Jet Li said. I
don't think Jet Li has any. He doesn't have any like memorable lines in it, really.
No,
he does have a line right at the end of the movie. Like there's like a post credit end scene at that movie where he's like,
where he's
"I am nobody's bitch." That's what he says.
Jason Statham is like,
he's like walking up this small like pyramid at the end, and he's like, "I am nobody's bitch. You are all mine." That's what Jet Li says at the end.
I am the one. Proceeds to kill
Jason Statham also says like, hey, "Don't you feel stronger, smarter, faster?" That's what he also says.
Again, Jason Statham got all the really good lines of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the entire time we kept every time we talk about Jason Statham, we always just start going 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Even if it doesn't mean anything. Like we were leading up to the movie and we kept going 30 seconds over. Because
I don't know. Like how people see Nicolas Cage is how I see Jason Statham. Just like the goofy actor where
it's brain rot.
Super great. Yeah, brain rot actor, but you'll love to see it.
And then they shot 30 seconds. I don't think you caught it at first, and I had to turn to you and go, JD.
I heard something else, but I think I did hear one of them like shout out a time. I just didn't know it was 30 seconds.
And I turned to you and I just go, JD, they just said 30 seconds. You're like, what? And I'm like, oh my god, we missed it.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, they get into the submarine. They get out.
Hold on, you're skating over the dents of Jason Statham. I know we talked about it, but we also haven't talked about it really.
Mm.
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
I'm skating over because it's just there. It's just a fact, you know. So what happens before they find the sub?
Any logic?
I think Jason Statham has to like go out and like unlock the sub from the outside or something. So
No,
he's like, they're
yeah,
like,
so he has to, because they're locked in the escape pod room as it's flooding,
mhm,
because she launched the pods and everything, and so he has to go out, swim all the way back to the the hatch, the pressurization hatch, then climb in through there, get to the room, let them out, and then launch the sub from
right,
within the station.
yeah.
And they're like, how are you going to do it without a pressurization suit? And fucking Jermaine, I think, goes, well,
No,
if you
no, it's the girl that explains it.
okay.
I don't even know her name.
You
They're
exhale
just
all the
like-
oxygen. No, I don't think. I think they might have said her name once. Again, they've said they showed us the bad guy once,
Mhm.
and I think they've said maybe everybody else's names once, and then never again.
Yeah. Yeah, but
It's why I don't.
But even if you
It's why
say
I
it
don't remember
once,
Paige Kennedy. It's why I don't remember Cliff Curtis's names. I don't remember Jason
I remember
Statham's
Paige.
name.
I remember Paige Kennedy's name. He's DJ.
What's his name?
He's
Oh
DJ.
my god,
That's his
Right.
name in the movie.
DJ.
I remember because it's my
Uh,
name, just backwards.
Oh my god, JD, he's the reverse of you.
Yeah.
It was me, JD.
It was me, Paige. So-
But yeah, they're like, if you exhale all the air from your nostrils, then you'll be like a fish and you can swim despite the density of the water and how it could collapse on you.
Hmm.
Even though that's not how it works.
That's exactly
Not
how it
at
works.
all. No, it's not. So stupid. It's so fucking stupid. And then he's in the pressurization chamber to go through one of the escape hatches, and he's standing in there, and you see him exhale, and his fucking nose, so much blood comes out of his nose. So much fucking blood comes out of his nose, and I'm like, he's dead. He's dead.
He just has a little nosebleed. That's all.
He died in that moment.
That was him expelling the bad chi from his body, so he could take like the pressure of hundreds of atmospheres, thousands of atmospheres on top of his body in terms of water weight. So that's all. So yeah, he saves them, right? He swims out into the depths,
He
saves
swims out,
everybody.
He gets the entrance, and he opens it, but then evil Tony Stark comes in, drains it, and he's like, it was a good shot. And Jason Statham's all delirious because he just fucking ingested a ton of water, probably. Or all the fucking pressure. And, just any of the other millions of ways that this should have killed him.
Oh yeah, he gets into a fight with evil Tony Stark
Yeah, evil Tony Stark's
before
like
he
dragging
frees
him.
them.
Evil Tony Stark's like dragging him for a while, and he's like going on a big speech. And once Jason Statham regains consciousness, he tries to kill him, and Jason Statham kicks his ass because for some reason he didn't just kill Jason Statham right away.
Mm-hmm.
He had a monologue for some reason.
Yeah, well, every villain has to have one.
And it's so stupid. They win. They knock him out. They kick him onto a pack of like rocks from the trench, which is the
They had
rare
some pretty
earth
funny
material.
falls. In
And,
this fight.
and at that moment, I was like, if he's not dead, this guy might be denser than Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
Because he should not have survived that
Just
by
two
any
dense
means.
people. So anyway, Jason Statham and co.
He gets them
get
out and
into the
everything. They're like,
submarine.
"Ooh."
They all they escape the mining rig and they fly out.
Oh,
from
this
underneath
was
the
one
thing.
of the other close encounters. Jermaine nearly drowned.
Right.
And he made a really funny face when he like spit out all the water.
Right. Yeah. He's like, It's like
He was like,
Hydration is important.
yeah, that's it. I won't do it anymore.
okay, you better not, bitch.
What did you just say?
They get out and they make it to the surface. And surprise, evil Tony Stark also survived. And the way he gets to the surface is he puts on an exosuit, and then he grabs
So
like this.
stupid.
He grabs this what do they call underwater mine?
Even though they didn't work,
He
at no
grabs
point
an
did the
underwater
mines go
mine,
off.
cuts it from the
The
bottom.
sharks bumped into the mine so much and nothing happened.
Right. By the way, they're getting attacked by the sharks this whole time. I think that's why there's so many leaks is because the sharks are attacking the
It was
underwater
so
mining
stupid.
facility.
It was so stupid.
So he cuts off like the chain holding the underwater mine down, and he like grabs onto it and it like floats up to the surface. So they get up there, and then the megalodons like follow them, I guess. So they all three of them go through this hole in the thermal layer, the one that was blown up from the explosion earlier. They make it up there. It turns out evil Tony Stark and the woman's goons are like taking over the above ground facility.
They called in all the goons to come take over the facility.
And Paige Harris and
Paige what?
Paige Harris and his
Kennedy.
friend. Yeah, Paige Harris and his friend or whatever has to like go
That's
around
terrible,
and
JD.
Yeah, am I terrible?
You're awful, JD.
Is Paige Harris another person?
No, but I don't know where you're getting Harris from.
I have no idea either. So they have like their own fight scenes and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's all kind of boring.
To you, it's like, oh, this might seem out of place, but to me, I'm like, he was a nervous wreck in the first movie. He was like, oh man, I hate sharks. I hate that we're in the ocean. And he's like whining the whole time. He's like really scared. And this one, he's like, I came prepared. I'm buffer now.
And in this one, he's like, I'm ready for this. And he pulls out a deagle out of his fucking small backpack.
Pulls out pepper spray, a taser rod that you'd use on like.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was like during the first movie. Didn't watch it, so.
He was like a nerd geek who was like really unprepared. He
just
was
seems
like
like a badass
of the water and the sharks. When their boat got attacked in the first movie, he was like panicking and like kind of yelling and stuff. And in this movie, because he's like one of the only other returning characters other than Jason Statham, Cliff Curtis and the girl. Mm-hmm. They're the only returning characters, even though they had a ton from the first movie. But he's like, I'm prepared this time around. He pulls out a fucking Desert Eagle, and by the way, it's 50 caliber.
Yeah, 50 cal Desert Eagle.
It's not a normal Desert Eagle. He's shooting 50 caliber. 50 Action Express, I think, is the specific caliber for pistols. But it's insane.
Yeah, he's like a badass, but just not as dense as Jason Statham.
That shit has a kick, and it will kill you on impact. It doesn't matter where you get shot.
Yeah, so they escape to take out all the goons, and then they have to go and kill all the megalodons that came up from the thermal layer, and they're all heading to this island. Do you remember the name of the island, James?
Fun Island or something.
Fun Island. Yep.
Oh my god, was it actually Fun Island?
It's called Fun Island.
I thought it was more clever.
Wow. No, it's called James. This was not during the writer's strike, by the way. So there you go.
They have the lady who betrayed them. She gets eaten by a megalodon because
she dies,
they're like
right away.
They're like, I'm gonna stand right next to the glass. And you know what? That megalodon we just saw swimming by, I'm gonna turn my back to him and I'm gonna start talking to his phone because I even though I've been shown to be somewhat competent and aware of things, I'm no longer. She dies. Mickey Rourke, Tony Stark, was in a relationship with her, and he's like, no! But then all the water starts flooding in from the megalodon crashing through.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He, in the most impossible way, outruns water and climbs up a ladder faster than water can flood up it.
Yeah, so you fucking, he books it.
It explodes.
The megalodon breaks, the whole wall. It's like this whole wall is made of glass. And the megalodon breaks all of it.
Basically.
Yes, and the room, floods.
50% windows.
The room floods with water from, the big fucking, from the megalodon. And then so Tony Stark, runs down the hallway, outrunning, the pace at which the room can fill with water, and he escapes.
I think I got up and I started imitating his run.
Yeah. You were just like, what the fuck? You heard, an audible. And you said that, every single time something stupid happens in the movie.
Every time something stupid happens, I yelled, what the fuck? Because it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, so he escapes, and they all head to a Fun Island for the final act showdown,
killing all the hour of the movie.
Right, and it turns out that Jason Statham tapes a bunch of explosives to some makeshift spears that he made on a rowboat that they took No, it was a small motorboat that they took to Fun Island.
They were rowing as to not alert the Megalodons,
Right.
which the military guys were, but also there was like 8 military guys on one boat. They all had guns. Only one of them pointed their gun at the people they're trying to kill. And even though he had a shot, he went, "Man, I gotta make sure it's perfect, though. You could just shoot the boat they're on."
No, what he says is, "Hey guys,
kill 'em."
I've got a shot."
Yeah, like
That's what he says.
Cool. These are people trying to kill. Just shoot them.
Yeah. So then, right before he pulls the trigger, the Meg like eats all of them. So
Mickey Rourke was all upset because he's like, "Wait, guys, wait for me."
and then
Whoa!"
Jason Statham and co were like, "Cool, now is the time we can use the motor." And then they just
Yeah,
motorboat
now
out of
they're
there.
like, now that that's happened, we get on out of here.
So they get out of there. Mickey like the Iron Man chases after them, and then they make it a fun island.
I forget.
He gets on his own boat.
I don't think we ever see him leave specifically. He's just suddenly is on the island.
No, he definitely leaves. I just forgot how he left. I think he left on a boat.
No, I think they have him say something into a radio. They're like, "We need to get to that island," and then he's just gone. We never see him
Maybe
actually
he gets
get
on the
boat and leave.
helicopter. Wasn't there a helicopter?
There's a helicopter at the beginning, but we never saw it again.
No, there's a helicopter at the final. Like they went to
Well, the
island.
helicopter at the final is what carries in the CEO lady, who's the bad guy.
Who's the
But
who's
he
the actual
was already on the island
mastermind.
when she. Yeah, but he was already on the island when she arrived.
I think he went on a boat. That's what I think.
No, I assume they went on a boat. They just don't show him get on a boat, and it's also. I don't believe they could have outran Jason Statham because Jason Statham and co were not on the island by the time we saw him. That's why I'm like, it doesn't make sense. The logic ain't there.
Yeah, they make it to Fun Island, and it turns out three Megs and the Kraken are attacking the resort goers.
Kraken's having a fun time just slowly one by one killing people, and then it just
Yeah.
sinks a whole fucking ship.
Yeah, and then
Like, whoa.
and there are also
escalation.
there are also the aquatic dinosaurs we saw before that are on the island killing people too.
Oh god, I forgot about the aquatic dinosaur. Also, somehow, all these private military dudes
Yeah,
with assault rifles, all shooting full auto multiple times, can't shoot what's equivalently a slow and fatter dog.
well, it's based like an alligator. They're basically alligators.
They're like alligator dog mix. Like they
Yeah.
look like they're somewhere in between, but also that doesn't mean much. You can still shoot an alligator.
That's true.
You can put a bullet in an alligator.
But
that
you
will
saw
kill
how
it.
you saw these goons are like when they're on the boat and he says, "I got a shot," and then he doesn't take the shot. Like,
I
come
know,
on.
but we also see like later on they're like literally shooting through a tiny gap where they're coming through, and they don't kill one.
No,
It's insane to me that we never see them kill one. We see Paige Kennedy and friends kill them, but we never see the goons.
We see a bunch of their bodies all over the ground.
Oh my god, there was a scene that like fucked with my mind on like what is happening here.
Yeah.
Because like one by one characters would slowly like walk off screen. It would cut away and it would cut back and they'd be just dead, but then like the people would be in the helicopter and they'd be like, "What's taking them so long?" They would hear what's happening. Also, the bodies aren't being eaten, so that's why I was like, "Are these the alligators?"
Oh yeah, that's what you
What's
said to
killing
me.
these guys? I was
Paige-
like, "What are killing them?"
Yeah, like Paige Kennedy and the lady like stumbles upon this scene where there's just a bunch of bodies on the ground, and you were like, "What happened here? Did the dinosaurs kill them?" I mean, it doesn't look like it because they don't have bite marks on them and they're not eaten
Because
or anything.
we then see the lady, I think, getting eaten, and she's like, or no, we see another dead body being eaten, and it's like it's covered in blood and it's like missing a chunk of it, and I'm like, okay, so we know the dinosaur killed that. What happened to all the other people?
They just fell down. They were taking a nap.
They walked out of the helicopter and they got Cloroxed by the dinosaurs.
Yeah, the dinosaurs fucking stuck up behind them, fucking put a rag over their face. So
Also, how did the fucking dinosaur get in the plane? I don't under.
no, the plane
helicopter.
the helicopter lands in like
No,
the
I
middle of
know,
this field.
but like we see that the door isn't. So my problem is we see the door is not open in one of the shots showing the outside of the helicopter, and then just for the convenience of the dinosaur, the door is now open, and I'm like,
No, James.
You just
both
need
the
to have
doors,
the pilot.
both of the doors of the helicopter are open, and
No,
then
no, no. The doors on her side are open. The doors on the other side are not open, and that's
the
what
both
irks
the
me.
doors
It's
are
like you
open.
could. No, JD.
So then it says she gets in and she closes only one side of the door, but the dinosaur's on the other side and it gets in through the open door.
The other side was never open to begin with.
Well, then how
They
did the
only
dinosaur
ever
get in then, James?
because the director's a dumbass. The director literally could have just had the other goon get in on the front of the plane on the passenger seat and then get out and just have that be that. That's what I mean. Like, it's not hard to just think of a way around these continuity things.
Well, anyway,
Or, just have the sides of the plane be open all the time rather than just one. Like,
that's what I said. That's what I just said. They're open.
that's not what happened.
I think you're just misremembering this, James.
No, I think I'm remembering too much and I hate it.
You probably remember it actually better than I do. Since
think
I
I remember
enjoyed
movies
it,
too well and I hate 'em.
and it was all right, so I just kind of forgot about it in the back of my. But you like hate it, so you like remember everything about it.
No, I remember movies pretty well almost
Okay.
all the time, and it's like it fucks with me because it's like I hate remembering bad movies, and this will be one of them.
So anyway, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because there's a bunch of
Yeah.
like aquatic dinosaur stuff which I don't really care about.
Just a lot of like people getting killed, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. We're running around. Ooh,
So
get
Jason
the fuel,
Statham-
get the fuel.
Jason Statham gets on a jet ski with the bunch with the spears with the explosives taped to him on the back on his back.
So fucking
And
stupid.
there's like and he has like a he always has like a weird number of them in every shot up until like the end.
It's like if you ever watch a movie and you see somebody drinking something out of a clear glass, look at what they're drinking and notice how it's never consistent between shots. It's always going up and down. That's what was happening with his backpack of spears.
He didn't have a backpack spears. He just taped them all to his bag, I think. I don't think he had a bag
had them
carrying them.
they had them in a backpack.
Okay. Yeah, so like he's driving
It was
around
so
on his jet
absurd
ski.
looking. I remember this.
He's driving around on his jet ski, and the megalodons are like attacking him. And he takes out the spears. And he's like throwing them at. He throws the spears at them. Like the first one, I think, like misses.
Whiffs it.
Yeah, and then he takes the second one, like hops over a megalodon as it's trying to bite him, and he throws it down onto the megalodon, and it blows up like its head.
Right in its forehead, and it
Yeah.
just like leaves a giant chunk. Also, was this before or after he was in the mouth of one of them and then drove his jet ski out of it?
I think it was after. Yeah. It's when he was getting attacked by the
stupid.
megalodons. It's like a crazy, like cool scene where he's driving around his jet ski and the meg's like almost getting him. There's one where he's like actually in the mouth of one of them.
He's fully in the
as it,
mouth
like-
while in the jet ski.
Yeah, he's like on the water. It like the meg like rises up onto him, and it's in his like Jason Statham's in the mouth, and then he drives out of it before it gets chomped down on him. That was cool.
It was so stupid because it was so bad looking. It was so bad looking.
I thought it looked great. So then, yeah, he kills one of them, and then does he kill another one with a spear? No,
I think
no.
no,
What
I
happens
think
is he loses all his spears after he throws like two of them.
because he only had 3.
He had 3.
But
I
technically,
think.
after he threw the second one, we did see there was a second one in his bag. But then in the next scene, they corrected for continuity.
Yeah, so he throws 2 of them, kills one meg with the spear, and as he's about to throw the third one, it gets shot out of his hand by the Tony Stark.
Right.
And Tony
By
Stark's on a
Tony
boat.
Stark
Remember, he's on a boat.
and he's carrying an LMG, by the way, and he's shoulder mounting it, so that he should not have been accurate enough to shoot that out of his hand.
Yeah, somehow he shoots
Just
it
saying
out of
this-
his hand.
Just saying this as somebody who's held one and fired one, they are not light machine guns.
They are highly
Despite what
inaccurate.
despite what the anagram LMG means, it is not. Acronym, not anagram. Acronym LMG means it is not a light machine gun by any means. It is heavy as fuck, and you cannot shoulder mount one of those and have an accurate enough fire to shoot somebody's hand on a jet ski. Not even their hand, what they're holding on a jet
They're
ski.
shooting a
while you're
spear
also on a
out of
boat.
their hand while they're on a jet ski moving. While they're on a jet ski
would've-
moving, and you're on a boat moving.
I would have forgiven this movie slightly if they showed that the LMG was
No, you
mounted
wouldn't
at
have.
the
You
front.
wouldn't have forgiven this movie at all.
Slightly. No, for this moment, I would have forgiven them if they had shown that it was mounted, because by then that makes it far more accurate than him shoulder mounting it. But if it was mounted onto like the side of the boat and he was shooting it from there, I would have been like, I can see that, because that would make somewhat sense in a
No,
way.
because here's the thing: if it's mounted on the side of the boat, he would have just killed Jason Statham because it's more accurate. But so he has to hold it in order to miss all his shots on Jason Statham as he's chasing him. So the rest of the scene, you could at least let's agree.
Sorry, I spent too much time.
You
being
could
upset
agree with
about
me
this.
here that the rest of the scene where he's shooting at Jason Statham, missing every shot, is accurate because it's tough to shoot it. It's not an accurate gun.
I would say it's not an accurate gun. I'd say it's just not an accurate way to shoot a gun.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I don't remember how. Oh, I think the octopus might have sunk the boat or something, or like one of the Megs attacked the boat.
Oh my god, I forgot. He was with Vin Diesel.
Right.
Tony Stark's goon, the only goon left, was like a Vin Diesel looking dude.
Yeah. So like bald, buff dude. So yeah, so then
he hops onto the dock where like the finale is happening. The little girl's on the dock. Jermaine and Jermaine and the lady are on the dock. Paige. Oh wait,
I don't think Paige was there yet.
No, Paige was what was Paige doing in this moment? Were Paige and Curtis? No, Jermaine and Curtis were on the helicopter. The helicopter crashed. Curtis was stuck in it. Jermaine was on the dock. And where the fuck was Paige and the lady?
Paige and the lady went to the forest, I think. They did something in the forest. I don't remember.
Yeah. So they're not there, basically. But this is the final act and everything. Everything's happening here. They're on the dock. Mickey Rourke, Tony Stark looking dude, jumps up on the dock rather than just shooting Jason Statham. He jumps up onto the dock and just shoots into the air a little, and he's like, Jason Statham.
I forgot how evil Tony Stark died.
I think I can't remember if he gets the gun kicked out of his hand or if he drops it and then he like pulls out a pistol.
Oh,
but at some point he brings out a
yeah.
pistol and then Jason Statham kicks him into a shark.
That's right. I remember it now. I remember
doesn't
the
make
scene.
sense.
They're on a dock. They're fighting on the dock. And,
Jason Statham is under the dock. That's why he gets onto the dock. And then Jason Statham stabs him. I forgot.
Yeah, he's under. Jason Statham's underneath the dock. But before this, you forgot something. Before this, when Jason Statham escaped from the boat, he went onto shore. He went onto like this rock, and he picked up one of like the boards from like the broken dock he was running on.
Right.
Or was this after he killed him?
No,
it was after he killed him.
No, what happened was he picked up one of the blades from the plane.
Oh, right. There's a blade from
the
a
helicopter.
plane. From a helicopter.
The blade from the helicopter blade. He picked it up like it was a fucking MMO busker sword.
Yeah, so he picks up this. He picks up the blade of the helicopter and like slaps it on the water to attract the Meg from attacking, I think, his friends or something. The ones who the ones who are stuck in the water. Yeah, it was going to go
trying to help Curtis. It was going to go kill him, and then he was slapping the water, and then it came to him, and he lifted it.
Yeah, and so he lifts like the helicopter blade at an angle, and he what was it? Grounds it against against it, and so the shark kind of just falls onto the blade, like trying to bite Jason Statham, and so it stabs itself through like the head. It goes through like its upper jaw through its head.
Are we sure this wasn't the scene I walked out of the theater at?
I remember you sitting there for this. It was earlier in the movie where you walked out.
I just remember that in a lot of these scenes, I was either yelling or I was just sitting silently.
There was a lot of scenes where you're just sitting silently. It was me that was yelling mostly, and it was mostly me yelling in excitement. I was like, yes, and I was like,
me yelling in pain, you yelling in excitement, and then it's me just staring at the screen with a 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, that's when I know when you're actually angry is when you're like frustrated, you like squirm around. You like tense up and you squirm around. But when you're like actually angry and like you can't take it anymore, you just like go silent and you just be like completely still. and you were completely silent when Jason Statham, kills the Meg
first,
with the helicopter blade.
at first I was like, oh shit, he's picking it up, and then I just stopped talking after
Yeah, I
that.
think
And I
at first
realized what
you
was
saw him pick
happening.
it up. You saw him pick it up. You're like, what? Why could he pick that up? How can he pick that up? And then
I
you
was like, that
see
is
like him
way
slapping it, and it cuts to the Meg, and you're like, no. So he kills the Meg with the helicopter blade, and it's cool.
what I thought was gonna happen at first is he was gonna cut it sideways, like
Oh, like
clean it
slash
through.
it?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna slash it because he
No.
was like slamming it up. Like he's gonna fucking spin around and slash
That would have
it.
been even cooler, but that's unrealistic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so he kills the Meg.
Oh.
That's the second Meg that he killed. And then Jermaine and is trying to save Curtis, but he gets attacked by the Kraken and he kills the Kraken with a spear. With
Well,
the
first
explosive on it.
the Kraken is also like attacking the dock as like Jason Statham and Tony Stark are fighting each other. I think it's still attacking them then.
It's attacking like Jermaine, Curtis, and the girl, the little girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're on the dock with like all the other people.
Yeah, because they're trying to save people on the dock. So. Yeah,
Specifically
and then
the dog.
Jermaine kills the Kraken.
Yeah, Jermaine kills the Kraken. Tony Stark gets Spartan kicked into the third shark's mouth, the shark from the beginning of the movie that is the pet.
Yeah, the pet shark's mouth.
For some reason, Jermaine, Curtis, and Cliff Curtis and Jason Statham all end up together, separated from everybody else in the water as the third Megalodon approaches.
Right.
I don't know why or how, but they
I
do.
don't remember how they did that either.
I think there's an explosion.
They're all off the coast, like kind of far away actually.
They're really far away compared to where they were previously.
And then like the pet shark is swimming at them, about to like kill him, and then Jermaine's like, check this out, and he pulls out his clicker, which he had on this entire time. He's like, doo-doo. And and then the shark's like, oh, I remember that sound, so it doesn't kill him.
Shark's like, ah, and he starts drifting.
The shark goes silent and just completely still.
The shark goes silent and
and they all swim back to shore. Happy ending, right?
Right. Paige Kennedy is surrounded by a bunch of Chinese women.
Yeah, that's right. He's like talking with all like the Chinese women.
The only times I celebrate in this movie is when I saw Paige do something.
You really like Paige Kennedy.
Dude, I've known of him since Vine. I know he's like done a couple things in acting. He was in one of the Troll movies, as horrible as they are. He's in the Troll in the Hood too, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, he's in the first one. Oh wait, maybe he might be in the second one. Either way, he's in that, and he's been like acting for a while, but doing like little character actor stuff. And it was so happy for me to see him in this movie like he is, because he's so much healthier than he has been before. And it was just nice to see. I was like, they were celebrating it in the movie too. It was like
it was also
all these moments.
They gave him a lot of screen time. Actually, he had a decent amount of it.
There were so many heroic moments he was having. There were so many moments where he was just like being active in
there
the
was
film.
A lot of moments
like
where he was just badass.
Yeah, dude,
like
he was shooting back at the mercenaries.
He pulls out a deagle and he shoots a bunch of the dinosaurs too, the aquatic ones.
Yeah, he was fucking killing it, and I was like so excited. And then at the end of the movie, he's like surrounded by all the women.
All the bitches,
like
regaling
them as he's drinking a fucking.
Everyone's holding like a normal glass, but he's holding the whole bottle. So
everybody has like a normal glass. They gave Jason Statham the least amount of liquor.
Yeah,
they gave him like a noticeably smaller amount than everybody else. Like he got half of what they all had, and then Paige had the fucking bottle at the end of the movie. He came over, he laid in between everybody. He's like, celebration, and then it cut the credits.
Yeah, it was awesome. I like the movie. 7 out of 10.
So stupid.
Very good.
5 out of 10.
I'm surprised you didn't give it any lower than that. Because it's like
being generous.
Is that on the same scale I'm thinking of, where 5 out of 10 is average?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it from like the normal scaling and not school scaling.
Not school,
which
not
is
grade
fucked
scaling.
with my brain.
Yeah. Do you want to spend the last like few minutes talking about the other movie we watched, or?
Yeah, sorry, we spent a lot of time talking about that movie.
Well, I mean, it's because it's just such a good movie.
We went and saw Blue Beetle as well.
Blue Beetle,
because it just came out.
Yeah.
And getting this off the start, 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I'd give it a Probably a 6 out of 10. I think it was pretty good.
What?
It's better than average.
Now I know that sounds bad.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the Meg 2. So that's why I gave it a lower rating than it, if that's what you're wondering. So yeah, that's why. But it's not a bad movie. No. I would say the Meg 2 is a bad movie, but I enjoy the Meg 2 more.
Just because it's so stupid that we
because it's so goofy.
Also,
and,
we had an empty theater,
and so the empty theater plus the bad movie, the goofiness of it, plus Jason Statham. Like, come on.
We didn't mention this. An employee walked in and stared at us at one point near the beginning.
They are supposed to do like check-ins with the theaters to make sure everything's going fine. So that's probably what that was.
It's just really funny to me that like we'd been loud that entire time, and then we just stopped talking the moment they entered, and I kind of like stared at them until they left.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Blue Beetle. I loved it. It was great. It was exactly. Yeah, I was so nervous because back when this got announced, it was announced alongside Batgirl.
You were nervous it was going to be really bad?
No, I was nervous that it was going to have a rushed sort of production on the end of it, you know?
Oh, I see.
Because it was announced alongside Batgirl, it filmed alongside Batgirl, and it like finished filming. Well, here's the problem: it like finished filming and all that stuff, and then Batgirl got canceled. It got
canceled.
Despite the fact that they filmed all of it, they literally filmed the entire movie and all that, and it was then just in the pre-production phase or the post-production.
Mm-hmm.
Like post-filming, they just needed to do the VFX and stuff. It got shut down. Got written as a write-off for tax purposes because they just sold Warner Brothers to fucking Discovery, which is insane to me that Discovery could still buy Warner Brothers, because that's, I don't think of Discovery as being that much.
I didn't think Discovery was that successful, but apparently it is. It's huge, I guess.
But they bought it and they had to do a lot of stuff to make up, which they still haven't made up for the amount of money that they had to like spend on it or like lost from it and whatnot.
Yeah.
A lot of shows, animated shows especially, were lost to this and are now like lost media that no longer even have like physical copies that can be bought, because if they are bought, it is like then showing that these things did make a profit. But by like just shutting them down and taking them off everything, you can just say, no, there's no profit made from these.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that GTA 5 storyline where Devin Weston's like, if we cut the production right at the end, I get a huge insurance payout. So let's just not do it.
Exactly. It's just insurance payouts. And it's really unfortunate because a lot of productions were fucked over because of this. Batgirl being one. And I was so nervous it was always going to come down to Blue Beetle also taking that hit.
Guess not.
Because thankfully not. Thankfully, the VFX looked great throughout the movie. I never had like a problem where I was like, that looks terrible, like what I did with the Flash.
Yeah. I think there was only one moment in the movie where I thought it didn't look so good. And that was the first transformation scene where he's like on the ceiling and like his face is going.
Really? I thought like their best VFX was in that scene where he was like transforming and it was like tearing him up and stuff. I thought that was the best looking VFX.
I don't know. I don't know if it just looked weird to me. It is,
I think it's gonna look like kind of uncanny because of it's like transforming him and whatnot. So it's gonna be like a mix of practical and visual. So it's not gonna match up 100. But
yeah, I guess one last thing. I just thought it was pretty good. Just your average like superhero up and coming film. I don't think it did anything
Grandma
wrong.
killed a lot of innocent people.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, I don't think he killed any innocent people.
No, Nana. I'm talking about Nana killed a lot of innocent people. Nana definitely did. We came up with this story that Nana was a freedom fighter, but she also killed like a lot of characters we saw in the film that died during the Guatemala War. We just made this narrative that she was a horrible like mercenary.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were some moments where I didn't like the dialogue, but that was about it. There was some like dialogue. I guess the villain dialogue especially was pretty bad, I think.
I liked it that they just made her a cartoony villain. I was like, that's fine. just make her this horrible person.
It wasn't like so bad. And I was like James, where I was silent and like steaming with anger at it. I mean, I enjoyed it.
It wasn't as bad as the Meg 2 was at points. But you at the beginning of the movie when we were watching the opening credits, like even you saw like I was getting really excited about like what I was seeing in it.
I think if you aren't a Blue Beetle fan, you might be a bit confused because I was a bit confused on the movie, like because I don't know Blue Beetle as like the character
Right.
really, and there's a lot of things that don't really explain with Blue Beetle's powers. So,
Which is
yeah.
usually how most Jaime Reyes stories go. It's just like, this is a techno suit, and they're like, well, where is it from? It's like, well, you
It's
can't
like
really
it's a
figure that out
techno
till later.
suit. It's got an AI built into it. It can transform into weapons, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as an entire arsenal.
She did say whatever you imagine, so I guess it transforms into whatever weapon you imagine it to be.
It's basically like it has an arsenal from out the entire universe of like what it's discovered put into it, so it can create any of those weapons.
But it doesn't. I don't know how much durability really it has.
They made a moment. They had a moment where they mentioned pressurization, and I was like, I can't believe we didn't talk about this when we were watching it. But they had a moment where the AI went adjusting pressure of the suit for the like us going into the atmosphere.
Right.
I was like, okay, so it changes pressure depending on where it is. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like an alien battle suit? Is that what that is?
A world-destroying battle suit.
Alien world-destroying battle suit.
But because Jaime is not a horrible, cruel person, it will not be horrible and cruel because it will attach to him and it will want to be like him.
Right, because it's like a symbiote.
It will go with his intentions. Yeah. It's basically the easiest way to explain it is it's Venom with an Iron Man suit.
Right. It's like Venom, but if Venom was like technology based.
Yeah, if Venom wasn't just, I want to kill everybody.
Wasn't brains. I need to eat brains, Eddie.
Brains.
You say Ida, I say Ida.
Ida. We really need to do... We really need to watch those movies for commentary.
I saw that one clip of him making breakfast. I was like, this is like pretty good. This looks pretty good. But I know the movie is not going to be very good.
I know some people hate it, but I love how dumb the Venom movies are because I'm like, yeah, he's not an overly serious character. I love it.
Yeah, I like.
I love that. You can just
great.
You can make these like two of fucking like horrible marriage partners. Like you just write it as that basically.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's all the time for we have. So
unfortunate. But yeah, Blue Beetle, really good movie. Go watch it.
Yeah, Blue Beetle.
Meg 2, not a good movie. Don't go watch it.
Watch it. It's not a good movie. I will not say it's a good movie. It's not. But go watch it anyway.
We liked it because we had an empty theater. Your theaters won't be empty. I guarantee you.
Go watch it. It's funny.
One grandma in there with you.
You have to experience what you're probably actually the average viewer will probably be like, wait, your review experience, James. Like you even got frustrated, angry, and when it was an empty theater, and I was there too. And you still had those moments. So I can only imagine.
The average viewer will be a mix between me and you.
Right.
But yeah, go watch the movies. They're pretty good.
Yeah, and that'll be it from us. If you enjoyed it, you should subscribe because we do it every Sunday. Sunday.
No, it's Saturday.
And if you enjoyed James, his links are in the description. He does a bunch of other stuff.
I'm streaming on Twitch doing stuff.
There's a new Transformer commentary on his channel, so you'll watch it.
Yeah.
It only took him a while to get that
7
out.
7 months.
Woo! 7 months of constant nagging by me.
I upload faster than the people who make the Sword Art Online Abridged show. Because holy shit, it takes them years. Whatever.
And that'll be it. Bring us out, James.
So I'm currently drawing Luke Lamb.